I've never had any personal grudge or disagreement with my principal.
Which is Mr. Peter Obi.
Absolutely. Indeed, I love and cherish him. And not just that I've never had any personal disagreement. I will never have any personal disagreement. Why? Because I have never made any personal demand from him. Not one. So it is not possible that we will ever have any personal grudges.
Does it mean that he doesn't have a fault?
But that's where I'm coming from. That's why I said we differ in temperament. Now, a P2B will say, when he meets an issue, you know, my brother Ken, meaning, my brother Ken, what you're saying is the truth, but take it easy. Let us take it easy. Now, a Kenneth Okonkwo will say, Kami felege mo dogu ifikeme. Instead of the mighty being drenched in shame, let a strong thing happen. Now, in the issue of Labour Party, you have an Abure who is constituting himself now as a nuisance. And Peter Obi, as the leader, came out and said, don't do that Congress. Don't organize it. I am not part of it. That there is an agreement which you signed to do an all-inclusive convention. Don't do it. And he will not attend. And Abure will go ahead and do it. And Peter Obi will still be saying, oh, calm down, let us calm down. And Kenneth Okonkwo will say, punish these people. Because if you don't punish them, anarchy will come in.
Anarchy looms in the Labour Party.
Absolutely.
Not in Nigeria this time around.
Good. And you know what? Jurisprudentially, the philosophy behind punishment is not in the pleasure of the state or the parents to inflict injuries on their citizens or their children, but for deterrence.
So you disagree in the style of Peter Obi in the handling of the leadership of the Labour Party?
That is where we disagree fundamentally.
Have you taken him up personally on this matter?
Very well.
So he knew,
and publicly,
he knew your position before you wrote that.
Meaning, my brother Ken, what you're saying is the truth, but take it easy. Let us take it easy. Now, a Kenneth Okonkwo will say, Kami felege mo dogu ifikeme. Instead of the mighty being drenched in shame, let a strong thing happen. Whatever we talked in confidence will remain confidential forever. I simply do not agree with the way he does things. Let me tell you the advice I give to my younger ones. I say, look, in this world, if you become too bitter, people will spew you out. If you become too sweet, people will lick you up. You have to find a way to be bittersweet. Now, P2B is a man who wants to be too sweet for everybody. He is a man who wants to appear too sweet for everybody. And that is why they are licking him up. Because when a sweet thing is in your mouth, you lick it up.
So it's too much of a Mr. Nice. And Mr. Nice is not the way to go in politics.
In my own definition, yes. Unfortunately for me, I am not a dove. So I cannot succumb to the temptation of painting myself a dove.
So you want a stronger arm in the dealing of the leadership situation in the Labour Party.
And in Nigeria,
which Mr. Obi is not doing.
By his temperament, and I wouldn't want to push him. I'll tell you one thing that happened. There was something that I needed to tell him. I am very close to my principal. He cherishes and loves me a lot, and I return same. And I gave him those things to do. And I told him it is urgent. So maybe he forgot to do it. Maybe he was taking his time. Then that thing happened. Then he called me and said, can he push him now? Can he push him now? He's a pleasant guy. You know what? Ken, you would have pushed me now. I say, sorry, sir. When you are pushing your guy, you have to be careful, because from where I come from, if you ever push him mistakenly and he falls, that's a cow that you give the whole community. So you see, when you differ temperamentally with your guy and it's affecting fundamentally your relationship, then you would have to give way. Nothing personal.
You said that
yes.
Peter Obi just needed to give the right directives and everyone will fall in line. You went further to say, I received my very first shock when he publicly declared that he did not promise Nigerians to build a strong Labour Party, but to solve Nigeria's problems. There are those who say that is what we are talking about.
Yes.
The incapacity of Peter Obi to be able to take strong decisions in politically speaking might dovetail into governance also. He should become a president. This kind of problem might occur. Are you worried about that kind of temperament that you are complaining about?
That is exactly why I said I am no longer speak for him. And the reason is simple. In Nigeria, I can assure you, except something happens, there will be no free and fair election, because our electoral jurisprudence has been overthrown. It is dead. So when you're dealing with incompetent and corrupt people, Mr. Nice will no longer be enough, because they will never again do a free and fair election. So if you want to contest, it is not enough that people give you the vote. You must have to grow to the level that you're willing to fight.